syllabus and see what other errors are occurring. Okay, so the link is not live. So we meet from 7 p.m. to 9:35 p.m. Mondays and Wednesdays. No, we don't. No, we don't. Tuesdays and Thursdays. This is not Monday. This is Tuesday and Thursday. Okay, first error. So we meet 7 to 9:35 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'll have to change that. We have 2 recommended textbooks. Elementary Statistics by Triola. And actually, I guess the link, and it really doesn't matter which edition you use, but when I set up my stat lab, I tried to set up for 13th edition, and it wouldn't allow me. Pearson is like that. They wouldn't allow me to set it up for the 13th edition. They would only allow me to do it for the 14th edition. And so when I set up my stat lab, it's set up for the 14th edition. But again, it's only a recommended textbook. You can use other editions. In addition to that, there is the Statistics Companion Workbook by Adam Liddick that is also recommended. A previous student contacted me and said that they have a used copy of the Statistics Companion Workbook that they're looking to sell. If you want if you would like to purchase a used copy, then just email me and I will, with your name and your contact information, I will forward that information to the student, and then they will contact you, and you can, negotiate prices for the workbook. My name is Stephen Castillo, and my office will be, online. My email is castilsj@lavc.edu. I will attempt to get back to you within 24 hours of any email that you send to me. I will also have, you can also text me on my cell phone, 818-645-7684. I will try to get back to you within, let's say, 15 hours if you message me on the cell phone. My office hours are from 9:25 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Monday through Thursdays at this Zoom link here, or by appointment. So if these office hours are not convenient for you, then you can always make an appointment with me and ask questions at a different time. So, next, probably the most important thing that students are concerned about, the grading scale. And so I have a fixed grading scale, and I'm fairly strict with this grading scale. So A is 85% to 100, B 70 to 85, C 55 to 70, D 40 to 55, and F 0 to 40. These are important dates, which include, last day to add in person to audit, last day to drop without incurring any fees, getting with a refund, last day to drop with a W, last day to enroll with a permission number, and the proposed date for the first, second, and third exam. More than likely, these are the dates of the exams, but they're subject to change. But I must admit that I don't think in this course I've ever actually changed the dates. So usually we get done with the material for these particular exams well in advance of the date that is specified on each of these. Here's Thanksgiving. We don't meet on Thanksgiving, and the final exam. So, well, how is your grade determined? 5% of your grade will be on homework. And so, the homework is more or less anything that is within Canvas. Oh, why is this not working? Okay, so it is. So let's say, let me look here. Oh, good. Chapter 1. So things like this has an introductions homework where you just basically tell everyone who you are. There's a knowledge check. So this is a homework. In this homework, you would basically view this video, and just to check that you understand what has occurred in this video, we give you a very short quiz. In this case, the quiz involves one question. So they ask you one question. The one question is answered in the video. And, you've listened to the video, then you easily get the points on this. In this case, since it's only one question, they don't allow multiple attempts. Okay. And so embedded in here are anything that is, so even though it may say quiz, this is a homework. So all of this stuff that is on Canvas is considered homework. And you can receive 100% of your homework grade by doing all of these assignments on Canvas. In addition to that, I hope I'm able to do this. There is Mymathlab. Oh, but it's not going to open as a student. Let's see if I can open as a student. So if you click on that, of course, it's being finicky. It's not opening. Okay, so if you were a student and you clicked on, let's see, let me go in as a student. Of course, as a student, it probably will ask me to pay. Okay, so I can go in as a student, and let's see what happens. So this is what it would look like as a student. Obviously, it doesn't give you all those instructor sort of links. It gives you only the student links. So let's see if I can go to my stat lab. Oh, come on. Oh, it won't let you on. Oh, that's great. So it does this on my laptop, but evidently it's not letting me do this on the what I'm showing you right now on the iPad. Okay, so well, I'll just say that you can also do your homework on my stat lab. And so if you decide to do both the homework from Mymathlab and from Canvas, one acts like extra credit to the other one. So if you get like 60% on, let's say, the work from Mymathlab and 70% on the Canvas on these Canvas assignments, then I would add them up and you would get 130%. I cap it at 150%. So you can't get more than 150% by doing these separate, both Mymathlab, Mymathlab, and the Canvas homework. Okay, so all of the homework is basically online, either through Pearson's website, the Mymathlab, or through Canvas. Oh, and I guess I should say that, and I don't know if you need all this information, but so student instructions for Canvas. Actually, I should probably attach this somewhere online. So I guess what I'll do is I will put this somewhere online so that people can view these instructions. So you'd log into Canvas, open your Canvas course, select the Mymathlab and Mastering link, and go to the course homepage. Okay, so you sign in. So here is, well, in case you need any information, the course ID is Castillo 30568. And the actual, I guess, the material it's being copied from is Elementary Statistics, the 14th edition. It's very similar to all the previous editions of Triola's my Elementary Statistics. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is I will probably put these, let me go back as a non-student. I'll probably put these probably towards the beginning here in the course information. I'll place that information. Okay. I'll probably put inside the course syllabus. So inside the course syllabus, I'll have a link here that will go to Mymathlab. So to information about Mymathlab, and I'll put those two documents there. That's what I'll do. I'll put them in this location. Okay. Next, exams. So the exams are worth 60% of the grade, and the final exam is worth 35% of the grade. So there will be a total of 3 exams given, along with a comprehensive final exam. Each exam will consist of 25 questions. The exams will take place during the lecture period. If you can't take an exam for any reason, you'll get a score of 0 on the exam. You'll need a webcam and a microphone while taking the exam. The exams are proctored using Zoom, so you will log in with the same Zoom link that you currently are logging into this course. You will position your webcam or iPhone so that I have a view of your desktop, so I can see your computer screen and your desktop, so I can see what you're writing. The way that I grade the exam, so once you're done with the exam, you get a score, but that score is not a necessarily correct score. That's just a score that the computer assigns to you and it's just sort of, if you get the correct, if you selected the correct, and multiple choice, or if you plugged in the correct number, it gives you full credit. And if you didn't plug in the correct number or select the correct, radio button, it gives you no points. That is not your score. So that is just sort of a, what the computer does. It gives you a guesstimate of maybe in the ballpark where you're, what it tells you if you actually got the correct answer or not. But it doesn't tell you how many points you get, because you will be submitting your handwritten work. And so I will grade your handwritten work. So whatever you write down handwritten in your handwritten work is what I shall be grading. And so just like when you take an exam in class, in person, you write down your work in order to get full credit. You must write down all of the work in order to get full credit. So I do not give full credit for just, the answer. There may be a lot of background to get to the answer. And so I will be grading you on all of the work to get to the correct answer. And especially in this course, it's very important to have the correct statistical notation. And so I will be grading you on your statistical notation and on your the correctness of your work in deriving the answer. So to submit your handwritten work, you will scan your completed assignment. And so you'll scan your exam, meaning you'll scan your handwritten work. So you will write down, let's say problem 3, you'll just say problem 3, you'll write down your work, and then you will scan it. And, so say you did problems 3, 4, 5, 6, you will write down each, problem 3, problem 4, etc. And you write down all your work, you scan it. If you have a scanner, then you put it into your scanner. If you don't have a scanner, then, when you scan your file, you must save it as a single PDF and submit your single PDF. If you have an iPhone and you go to the Notes application, there's actually a place where you can click on Scan. And so you click on the Scan in the Notes application. It does a quite good job. It color corrects, it positions your paper, and it then makes it into a single PDF. And so if you have the Notes application, it will very quickly, you'll be able to get one PDF. You can also use, if you don't have an iPhone, you can use Cam Scanner to do it. Cam Scanner is not nearly as good. Many times it's hard to. So Cam Scanner, again, it's free. It's not nearly as good as the Notes application. But you can also use that. But please do not just take a picture of your work as a JPEG. Usually when people take pictures of their work, as a JPEG, I have almost an impossible task of trying to decipher what you've written. Basically, cameras are notorious at not being able to take pictures of white backgrounds. So if you have something that's white and you take a picture of it, once you take the picture of it, it doesn't look white. It may look brown, it may look blue, it may look pink, it may look many different colors, but usually doesn't look white. And when you have on top of that something written in lead pencil, it just is the color correction. Without color correction, it is nearly impossible to read what you've written. And so half of the time that people do it they just take a picture using their phone. You should try it. Like if you're taking a picture of a piece of paper with handwriting on it, it's very difficult to figure out what that handwriting says. So please use either the notes, either if you have a scanner, scan it, or the notes application, or the CAM scanner application. Okay. You should use the following naming convention: last name, first name, and the assignment name, exam 1, exam 2, etc. After you submit your exam, your PDF, you will stay on Zoom. And so you will stay on Zoom after you've submitted your PDF. And there will be 2 breakout rooms that will be available. The first breakout room is the breakout room that you would attend after you have scanned your work, after you've submitted your exam. You'll wait in that room, and then I will put you in another room where I'll ask you questions about your exam. Sample exams are available under, the module sample exams. And so if you look here, hopefully I can show this to you. So under, here it is. So there are sample exams here. And in those sample exams, they have me going over some sample questions. And also here are the PDF of the handwritten questions and answers. Here's the question, and there's the answer, etc. There. In addition to that, let's see, exam 1. We also have practice exams. And so the way that we figure out what problems I give you on an exam is that I have a database of questions. And from this database of questions, I will present this particular exam. So the practice exam is identical to the actual exam. The only difference is that, maybe I'll even show you. So the practice exam has these questions, and how are these questions? Hopefully this is one that has, good. Okay, so this has a question here. And what you'll notice is that it says, something, blah, 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 polling company reported that. And then you have something weird that says X% of Y, blah, 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 blah. It says use California method. Okay, so I can actually look at, actually, I don't need to do that. Let me cancel that. If I look up here, so if you notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 types of questions, but it's hidden inside of it. Show question details. So these X's and Y's can have differing values, as a matter of fact. there are 200 different values for each of these eight different questions. And so there are 200 versions, I think, of those eight questions, of those eight versions of questions for problem one. And so there's 1,600 versions there for problem number one. So therefore, we're able to give you the exact exam. If you preview this, it will pull out one of those questions and one of those versions, and it will ask you, preview. And so this is identical to what you would have as a questions on your exam. So these are identical. They will grade it for you and you'll get a score. Of course, this is a practice exam, and so we will not actually record the grade. So since it's a practice exam, you can do it and you can see the problems and you can see if you've done it right or wrong, but do not record. If you look in grades or whatever, you won't see anything saying practice exam or whatever, because those scores are not recorded. Okay. When you actually do the exam, submit exam, yeah, I guess submit it. Yeah, I have 26. Oh, cancel, by the way. I have 26 unanswered questions. So what you notice here is on the very, very last question, it says to choose to upload your work. And so the very last question is to upload your work so that I can grade your exam. Now for a practice exam, you don't need to upload a file or anything, unless you want me to actually grade your work. Some people actually have done that in the past, saying, could you look at my work for the sample exam? And I'll quote unquote, I'm not grading it, but I'll say, if this were exam, I would take off 2 points for if you did this, etc. Okay, so you notice that even though you're, say in this one, you are inputting some number into this text box here, there's some work that you need to perform and maybe some notation that you need to write. And so if I plugged in and I got the correct answer, got the correct number here, it would give me full credit. But when I actually grade, I will look at your work and grade you, even if you get the wrong answer, but your work is correct, maybe I can give you most points. Or if, your work is wrong, but your answer is correct, then I will not give you nearly as many points. So I'll just submit it. Yeah, I have 20. Everything is basically, I got a 0 on that, obviously. And if you look at the actual exam, it will have the same types of questions. So if I did a preview, well, of course you can't do a preview. If I did an actual version of this exam, what you will notice is that it would be very, very similar. Matter of fact, I can show you that the questions are the same. So if you look at the title, questions will be pulled from this bank of questions. And if I click on that, it's the same questions, of course, because there are 8 that I could pull from, 8 of these types of questions. And of those 8 questions, there are 200 versions each. So they're really like, I'm pulling from 1,600 possible, questions that are unique to this. And that's, of course, for every of those 25 questions on your exam. So there's a lot of versions. So Because of that, I allow you to retake exams. So if you find that you did not do as well on an exam as you had hoped, you can retake an exam as many times as you want throughout the semester. And so I allow you to retake exams as many times as you wish throughout the semester. And the scoring, so I should say this, you may not retake an exam during lecture. So if I'm lecturing, you can't retake an exam because I'm not able to proctor during that time. But basically any other time, you can retake an exam. Usually they're taken during office hours, but if office hours are not convenient, which they may not be for this class, because my office hours are in the morning when I'm after my morning class, whereas this class is at night. So that time may not be that convenient for you. So you would need to schedule a time that you can actually take the exam and where you have enough time to complete before the 7 p.m. Slot. If you retake an exam, then I will give you the grade. I'll enter the grade into the spreadsheet according to the following formula. HW, where HW is your homework average as determined at the end of the semester, written as a decimal. If your homework average is greater than 100%, then I let HW equal 1. So it's possible that you could get more than 100% on your homework, in which case, you can get up to 150% on your homework average. I would let that equal 1. TM stands for, I don't remember what it stands for. It gives you the average of all your retakes, excluding the lowest score on that particular exam. The minimum is the lowest score. And so, in general, if you do well on exams, then, well, it really doesn't matter that much what you do on the homework. The homework's only worth 5% of the grade. And so if you do well on exams, then you don't have to worry about really, what is, you really don't need to do, well, the homework that much. It's only 5% of your grade. The other 95% of your grade is on exams. So if you do well on exams, then you can more or less disregard the homework. However, if you do not do well on the exams and you want to retake the exams, then you must be sure that your homework is done and you have the homework score as high as possible. Because let's look at different cases for what happens with this formula. So suppose that you get 40% on an exam. And so you decide to retake it, and you get a 94% on your retake. You decide to retake it yet again, and you get 90%. Now, let's look at two differing situations. The first situation where the homework average is 20%. So HW is 0.2. The minimum, well, of 40%, 94%, and 90% is 40%. TM, well, if I look here, the lowest score is 40%. So I'll get rid of that. I take the average of these other scores. So the average of 90 and 94 is 92. And so let's calculate what would be entered into my spreadsheet. And so, well, HW, which is 20%, of my average, 92, plus the complement of the 20%, 80% of the lowest score, which was 40. And so I get 50.4%. So I would record into my spreadsheet 50.4%. Now, suppose that everything remains the same. I have 40% on my exam, I retake it, I get a 94 and a 90. But now suppose that at the end of the semester, my homework average is 98%. What happens? Well, HW is 9.98. The minimum is still 40. The average of the exams, oops, is wrong. The average of the exams, excluding the lowest score, is still 92. And so let's plug this into our formula. And so 98% of the 92 plus, well, the complement of that, 2% of the lowest score, 40, gives me a 90.96%. So notice that just changing the fact, so everything else was the same. I kept everything else in this example, in these two examples, the same. The only difference is that in one case, the homework average was 20%, in which case I would record into my spreadsheet that for that particular exam, you got 50.4%. Whereas in the second case, I have a homework average of 98%, and I would record into my spreadsheet that you got a 90.96% on that particular exam. So it can be seen by this example. If you retake exams, it is very important that you do all the homework. I think that's about it for the syllabus. Let me see if there's anything else I need to go over. I think that's about it. Okay, so, I should say this. The last day to retake exams is December 1st. Now, that is actually not the last day to retake exams. That last day to retake exams is, I have to explain what that last day means. It's really a sort of date for me that specifies what I have to do. And so I guarantee that if you retake an exam by December 1st, then I will have graded your exam, your retake exam, before the end of the semester. If you retake an exam after this last day to retake exams, then you can still retake exams. I'll allow you still to retake exams. However, there is, I do not guarantee that I will be able to grade your exam before the end of the semester. You can retake exams all the way up to the end of the last day of class, the day of the final. So you can actually retake exams up to the day of final. Of course, there's no way, if you take an exam on the day of the final, that you will have it graded before the final. I can't go backwards in time. So you would, I would inform you of your grade. Well, you can see what your grade is on Canvas after I grade it. But, obviously it would be, after the end of the semester. Please do not believe the score. Do not trust the score on Canvas, your grade on Canvas. So the grade on Canvas is not going to be necessarily correct. It cannot do anything fancy. So it cannot do this formula. And so because of that, whatever you see on Canvas may not be accurate. So do not trust the grade that you see on Canvas. It may be lower than what the grade is in the course. If you wish to know the grade in the course, you should, well, you can, obviously there's a formula, so you can figure out what it is. You can calculate yourself. Or you could email me and ask me, and I can calculate it for you. I can put all the numbers into my spreadsheet and then inform you of what what the spreadsheet tells me your score is. Oops, here it is. Let's see. No question. Any questions on anything? Any questions on how the course will be run, or any questions on the syllabus? Any questions about anything? Yes.
I have a question on the exams. So
Yes.
when I scan the work page that
Yes.
I need to open up my email to download the file from the cam scanner. Am I allowed to go to my email during the exam to download that file?
Yeah. So what happens is, I do know, so at the end of the exam, usually what happens is that students will, and this is very obvious. So at the very end, people will type into the chat box, "I'm done," and they pull out their phone and they start, doing things with it.
Mhm.
I know that what they're doing. In other words, it's the end of the exam. You have to, do things with your camera. You've got to, so yes, I know that. So
Okay.
yes, you have to take pictures. You got to download things. You got to go to your email. You have to do this. You got to do that. Yes. So
Okay.
I certainly, basically everyone has to do that. So yes, at the end of the exam, a lot of cameras are going and people are taking pictures of things, and they're doing the scanning sort of thing. But yeah, that's what they're doing at the end of the exam.
Okay. Thank you.
Other questions? Oh, and during the exam, you may use calculators. As a matter of fact, I don't know how you can do. I don't know how you can do this course with the exam without using calculators. You can use calculators, and you can basically use any calculator. So we allow you to use any calculator, and this is very unique. It's probably because this is not really a math class. This is unique uh, for math classes. Is we also give you, let's see, a formula sheet. So we also give you all of the formulas that we cover throughout, whatever chapters we're covering for the exam, so that we give you pages and pages of formulas. And so we actually give you the formulas that are used on the exam. So all the formulas that are used on the exam are here. Okay. So as I say, that's quite unique. Also, well, later on, of course, not only will there be formulas, there'll also be tables and things like that. So, this is going to be much longer. It's exam 3. They would also give you a whole bunch of formulas. It'll take longer for this to come up. It's going to be a bigger document. So they'll give you formulas and tables. So if you notice here, not only are there formulas, there are going to be a whole bunch of tables. Lots of tables, lots of tables, lots of tables, more tables, and formulas. It's taking a little while to render. all that, because it's very big. So it gives you, we give you tables, formulas, a lot of extra things, and we allow you to use graphing calculators. So all this stuff that is not normally allowed in a math class is allowed on exams during this course. Any questions? However, you may not use notes or anything else. So no notes or anything can be used, but why would you even need any notes? Because all the formulas are given to you and the tables are given to you. So there are a whole bunch of formulas, a whole bunch of tables. So here are tons of formulas, tons of formulas, even more tons of formulas, and more tons of formulas, and they go on seemingly forever. Oh, even commands. We even give you some commands for the TI-83, so, or 84. So, we give you a lot of stuff. As I say, this is quite unique. In math classes, we basically give you nothing, but in this course, we actually give you everything that you would need on an exam. Any questions about that? Any questions? Yes. The books will be available at the bookstore, I think, and also there are links. There should be links in here. Let's see, syllabus, oops. Syllabus and required material. So there should be links here to there. There are links to Triola through Amazon. So hopefully if you click there, voila, there it is. Like, good. So there are links actually that go there to Amazon, and also if you go to the bookstore, their website. No, I didn't put that link in there. If you go there, they will. Yeah, actually, I should go to that. There, it's also there. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can put that link in with the search or not, but I'll see. Other questions? Oops. Any other questions about anything?
Yes, hi, Professor. On
Yes.
exam day, can we have the formulas printed or can we only view them on the computer?
I would not only say that you can do it, I would recommend you do it. I would recommend you print them a few days before and get used to them. So there are a lot of, if you notice, there were a lot of pages. There must have been 50 pages of table, well, of course that was exam 3, I think I looked at. But there may be like 30 or 40 pages of formulas and, what's it called? Tables. So I would recommend you print it out. Otherwise, it's going to take you, and I recommend you print it out a few days before so that you will get used to figuring out where things are. It turns out that probably the hardest thing is to, find where the formula is in that gigantic list. Find where is that table in that gigantic, in that 50 pages. I'm probably exaggerating, that huge bundle of things. So I would recommend that you print out that tables and formulas, and you have it available so you can scan, you can look through it. I shouldn't use the word scan, so that you can look through it during, and find it easily during the exam.
Okay.
Any questions about that?